I remember being disappointed. I remember being disappointed when I watched Underworld and then found out who Kate Beckinsale's ex-husband was, who she had a kid with. And I was like, what the f?
Now, the top secret government project that can destroy the world.
One of the most dangerous projects the United States...
Fuck?
Well, Kate Beckinsale in general is kind of
I know, but like,
kooky.
Like her ex-husband was, what was his name?
Good looking.
Martin Sheen, I think.
When aimed at the sky, it can change the weather.
With 1 billion watts, you easily move a cloud wherever you wanted to move it using HARP.
When aimed at the ground, it can set off earthquakes.
That British actor? Not Emilio Estevez's dad. There's another one. His name's something. Michael Sheen. It's something. He's a British actor, and like he's not. I mean, he looks like a peanut.
When it's pointed at you, it can literally blow your mind.
This is the death ray.
Topo Gigio was Giovanni's name. I don't think she saw it last week. Hello, we are back. I hope you enjoyed the little preview video. Rusty is with us again. What were we doing last week? Because unfortunately, I was attacked by the HARP system. It's a government weapon. 3.7 million watts into the air at a designated cloud. They shot it right down at my house. I was in the Baja. They shot it right down at my house. Scared all 130 of my dogs.
Yeah.
I have a wild gang of dogs that I sick on the local natives because I'm in the Baja 6 months out of the year. And they pinpointed me with their 3.7 million watts. And I lost power, and that fucked everything. We were out of power until like 1 or 1:30 in the morning. So we're back. We're doing the same movies. I hope you, in the meantime, had a chance to watch the movies if you didn't prior. I am with Man with Two Brains and Rusty.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Check out Rusty at twitch.tv/Rusty. Is it underscore grill or is it just one word?
Just Rusty Grill, one word, baby, one word.
There you go, babies.
Baby.
Babies. Everybody, babies. Okay, so it's been a whole week. We'll do this again. Have you guys watched anything in this week since we last congregated?
Yes,
I finished
watched
Monk.
The Monk. And I was trying to say Monk.
Rusty was simulcasting Monk
just
with
started
Alex.
Monk. Did you finish Monk? Good
I
stuff,
did.
I feel like that's an achievement.
So I mean, well, it's relative, right? So, what's next?
Yeah.
I started.
Sorry.
I started the Star Trek Strange New World. I'm finishing that up. It's the series on Paramount Plus. And then after that, I don't know. Yeah, it's a new series that came out with Anson Mount as a Pike, Captain Pike.
What is it? What is available on? Where can you?
Paramount?
Paramount Plus. Yeah,
I did say that. Okay.
We finished Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Again, we're
completing
done.
things.
We're done.
Oh, that's next. That's next. Okay, yeah.
Done with Dead. I mean, we're not done because eventually we'll watch Dead City and the fucking Norman Reedus spinoff, and then you've got the Rick and Michonne spinoff, and then eventually there's going to be a Eugene and a Mop Handle spinoff or whatever.
It's called The Walking Dead: Those Who Lived or some shit like that with Michonne.
Well,
and Rick.
if you watch the end of Walking Dead, the last like 5 minutes is a prelude to their show where it shows Rick. You know, I won't spoil it for you, but that's the last. The last few minutes of the end of The Walking Dead is a prelude to the Rick and Michonne thing, which is disappointing because you really kind of wanted to have like, oh, the gang's all back together, and they keep a lot of them separated. You know, so the Dead City looks interesting. I do want to watch that. We will watch that at some point. The only thing is, right now, do I feel like getting AMC Plus for it.
We would watch it.
Yeah, that's the only thing it's on.
Is it on AMC Plus only?
I think it might be on AMC TV, but I gotta be honest with you, I don't even have my cable box plugged into my receiver.
Okay.
I have my Xbox, my PS5, a Switch, and an Apple TV out there. And because we weren't using the cable box, and it's like, at this point, just justify the fucking $7 a month or whatever it is until that's why I'm like trying to wait till the season's over, so I could hit it for a month and then watch it and then cancel the fucking subscription. Because AMC, I mean, whatever.
That's what I want. I want to go back to Stars. I want to use my wife's account and log in. And
I'm
watch
part of Stars program.
And watch the rest of the season of Heels with Stephen ML or whatever his name is.
Oh yeah, I do want to. Yeah, we don't have Stars anymore either. I canceled it because we weren't watching it at all, and I had it on Hulu, and it was like $8 a month, and
yeah, same thing.
We just weren't watching it. Like we have so many fucking movies that we own or other streaming services, and it was just like I don't need this part on the bill anymore. Like I'm good. And then
all
Heels
these extra
starts.
services are annoying, man. Like
they're everywhere.
Services.
Well, then you got HBO Max, which gets into another conglomerate, and now they're just Max, and
Max, yeah.
so that's another app, and there's less content in that app because they've removed some, and they're adding. I don't know. You know what show I do kind of want to watch, but my wife has instructed me that Mad Men is the next show we're watching. I want to watch Suits. I keep seeing fucking clips of that show on YouTube.
Suits is good.
Yeah, I used to watch it, but then I fell off because I started working nights at the airport, and I couldn't finish it.
I kind of want to check it out because I keep seeing these like YouTube 1-minute shorts of the lawyer defends his cleaning lady, and it's like, all right, that looks kind of interesting.
It's a lot of good. It's a lot of good smart back and forths with everybody.
Well, yeah, then I saw the one clip where they end up firing the guy, and they the whole thing is he's got him cornered, and then they reverse it on him, and they're like, lawyer talk. It's like Power Rangers, but you're not like heroes, you're lawyers. What have you been watching, Rusty? I know you completed Monk.
Yeah, I know. I haven't even started it. I actually watched a few movies, surprisingly. Grand Piano with John Cusack. And
I stopped watching his movies after
Elijah Wood,
like 2000.
Elijah Wood was his name.
I like Elijah Wood though.
I like Elijah Wood, and John Cusack's not really in the movie. It's like his voice.
Oh, it's one of those glorified cameos.
He's like I mean, I guess he's like a hitman or something like that, and the whole. Remember the movie with Colin Farrell, Phone Booth or whatever.
Yeah.
Something like
where
that.
It was Keith or Sutherland.
He's got to play the piano, and he has to make sure he doesn't miss a key. If he misses a key, he gets sniped or something like that.
Oh, it wasn't. Matt was playing the piano earlier today.
Oh, there you go.
And Sea of Thieves.
Amazingly, might I
add. So that wasn't bad. And then Diner, classic. I'm sure you guys all know what Diner. You know Diner, right? And then Flash, the new Flash movie.
So our buddy Lewis, one of the other co-hosts on the show, was watching it and said the CG was puzzlingly awful.
Yes, CG was a little wonky, but overall it wasn't too bad. The CG was, wonky for sure. Like there's a bunch of scenes where like you could tell like it's like.
Now, in your opinion, was it unfinished or just piss poor work?
Piss poor work. Like there's a scene with baby. I don't know spoilers.
He said the faces are particularly off looking.
Yeah,
like some of the CG faces. Yeah,
baby scenes. Like there's a few baby scenes. I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's baby scenes and the babies look fake. They're better off at that point just throwing dummies out the window.
Well, that's what happened when your leading man is a cult leader.
Yeah.
They can't put real children around him.
Yeah,
I like the fact that they put everyone in it. Like,
it threw back to all the
major cameos.
One, but they brought everyone in. Like,
they tried to say that Nicolas Cage did his cameo in person.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say Nicolas Cage was in it, which was pretty cool. But
they all were. Christopher Reeve. It's basically every iteration
he looked
you
good.
can think
They
of.
They must have spent good coin on him because his CG part was pretty decent.
I mean, at this point, I think they just need to scan.
Was he interactive? Like, was his character interactive with it? With the?
Yeah, he was doing a few things. I'm not gonna tell you who he was interacting with specifically, but he was.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like was he actually like involved in the story?
No, he wasn't doing like anything fight scene, and it's just tough to see. I love Michael Keaton to death. Michael Keaton is amazing. I don't care what anyone says. An awesome person. Met him, love him.
Would
He's
you
great
watch
actor.
a 60 or 70-year-old Michael Keaton Batman solo movie?
That's the thing. That's exactly what I was getting to. Is like he looks old in the movie, not because he's supposed to look old, but you can tell like he's aged.
He's 70.
Yeah, and there's a scene where Flash goes to him, and he's supposed to be like super old in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
He has like a wig, whatever the case. But not that when he gets all cleaned up, he still looks super old. And then there's scenes where he's like as Batman fighting, and he's going nuts. Like you can tell this is not, just
Well, yeah,
knowing it.
I feel like that movie's probably got the same problem Blade 2 had, where Blade 2 had badass action, but every time it was like the CG characters fighting, it looked like they didn't have bones.
Like they were
that was
stretching.
brutal. Like,
Yeah,
shit,
it was like Stretch Armstrongs fighting each other.
Yeah, that was weird.
So I'm imagining that's part of the problem, because like I know there's a shit ton of cameos at the end, and most of them are all just CGI bodies floating around fighting and doing certain things.
So there's
It's not
been
even fighting. It's like a box, like that pulls away. Like it's like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the character selection screen, like it's a globe.
Yeah.
With tons of little things, something similar, and it's
okay.
pulling away, and it just shows everyone. And in the middle is Nicolas Cage, but it looks like they stole the footage off YouTube. It's like
They probably did.
it's like pulling away, and it's like fun. It's just hilarious.
Well, you gotta wonder if they worked in conjunction with like Dead by Daylight developers who did his dimensions and
Yeah.
everything for the game, and they just used those and changed around a bit.
Probably.
That'd be the smartest way to go, because you'd imagine his
they already got
DLC.
scans of him.
Well, yeah, his DLC you would assume would have been in development for a bit, so they probably had his scans for a while.
No, it looks like they took his YouTube like clip. and
It's
just
that
zoomed
it's
into
that
it.
design from the behind the
Yeah.
yeah. I've seen some short clips of the cameos being spoiled, which I don't give a fuck about spoilers, especially for a movie where I don't give a fuck about the main character because I don't give a fuck about the
It's
actor.
also
and then
why give a
the
fuck
actor-
about it?
Also
Because it resets the entire universe.
it's also dead. So who fucking cares?
But now that it is dead, right? They stopped it. It's like done. Not
Oh,
going
dude,
anywhere?
it failed
They
miserably.
still
I
have
guess it's
Aquaman
gonna.
3.
I guess it's gonna make less money than Green Lantern.
Oof.
I want to see it's Aquaman 2, by the way. They haven't even gotten to 3.
Oh no,
Yeah,
they're
I think
filming.
it's-
They're filming Aquaman 3, and they're having problems right
They
now.
haven't even released Aquaman 2.
They haven't- Is there two? No.
They haven't released it. Why the
two
fuck
is
would you
not
even be making number 3 if the universe is reset and you haven't even released number 2?
Hold on. So Johnny Depp, part 2 with Johnny Depp, the pooper girl, is not. They didn't release.
I
she's
don't
supposed
think
to be out of it, right?
it hasn't been released, right?
Yeah, I
They've
don't
been
think
fighting.
so.
They've been fighting to get her pulled out of all of it.
I don't think they're gonna. They said they're not gonna do it.
There's actually a what's it called? What are those created fucking
Right.
petitions?
Can you
Those creative
imagine being
petitions
on
by
the
the
set,
fans?
like this on the set, being like, Amber, calm down, don't poop on the set. Amber, Amber, calm down.
Yeah.
Get yourself. You are an actress, Amber. Do not poop on the set. I'll fucking
There's
shit
signs
anywhere.
everywhere. No pooping on
Are you
pillows.
shitting me?
Do not upset Amber. She will drop.
Oh shit. Sorry.
Like
No
she's
dookie.
got no shame either. She just drops trow in the middle of set and just what?
Jeez.
The
Hey,
director
Johnny.
comes back to his chair and is a pile of shit.
I mean,
What
here's
the
the thing. No matter what, like in the end, because he technically won and she technically won on a counter claim, but it was less than he won. He was virtually acquitted.
A lot less, right?
But like at the same token, it's like, bro, you're in your 50s. Like you need to be fucking smarter. Like you
yeah,
fucking
he shouldn't be messy.
you
He's-
out of
he's
shape
doing all that.
wino.
He's-
You need to
yeah,
get your
he
shit
shouldn't-
together. You're not Keith Richards. Get your fucking shit together, asshole.
He's been with all of them already. I mean, come on now.
Well, what's
he
the
knows-
point
he knows
at
the
that
game.
age? Like, just fuck groupies at this point. Why even get entangled in relationships, right? All it's gonna do is
I
end
think it's more
it.
status too. It's got to be status.
I guess because it's like all it does is end in fucking. If you actually like the person, it ends in heartache and less money. That's all he got out of it. Well, technically with the lawsuit, but then she can't pay him because she was living like a basic bitch. If it wasn't for him, she'd be sleeping on a mattress on the floor.
Didn't she live? She left and she went out of the country, right? Or she always lived out of the country. And she went to like Venezuela or something like that.
Well, he lives.
Oh
out of
yeah,
the
she's in
country.
Spain now.
Spain. That's what it is.
I think he lives in Dracula's castle. I've got a
I
loft
don't.
in
Nicolas
London.
Cage did, right?
Was Nicolas Cage the one that had the pyramid
Yeah.
grave that he ended up selling because he went bankrupt?
Yeah,
He had all that crazy stuff. He
What a
slept in Dracula's
psychopath.
bed.
What a
he had to
psychopath.
sell. He had to sell all his memorabilia for Superman.
And he have
too.
a mummy too, like a real life, like a live
His house looks like a fucking museum in a van down by the river. Yeah, Amber Heard is currently living the van life. Unfortunately, the van she's in is a old '87 Chevy, whatever the disgusting rustabout.
Now they're converting yellow school buses.
I saw that. I've seen.
And they come out pretty nice, man.
What are the other things? Ambulances are also big to be converting. I guess there's a lot of space when you're not storing people's bloody bodies.
I don't know how I feel about that, man.
I don't know, dude.
We've only lost 157 people in this ambulance.
Dude,
This is a great deal.
I'm a big guy. Like, I don't need if you told me tiny home, I'd be okay with it. But eventually, there'd be a night where it's like,
you get angry.
I gotta climb that goddamn ladder to get to my bed. Like, fuck.
Well, some of them actually have stairs, but they're only like 12-inch.
Well, but okay, so then you
I'd
got
have to
stairs.
use the wall and walk up at the same time.
So let's say you have stairs. Inevitably, you will bump your fucking toe on them. Go, God damn, this tiny fucking home. Like, at some point, you're just gonna lose your shit because it's like, we spent $130,000 on this piece of shit. We could have got a ranch home with a basement for $200,000. What the fuck? Like, you will regret it at some point. But a lot of those van life kids you see on YouTube are like trust fund babies.
Yeah, I'm sure they're loaded. They're just doing this for like fun.
Well, even if not loaded, they've got like wire transfers or Zells or something coming in from mommy and daddy monthly. Here's your allowance for being a YouTube piece of shit. You know nothing fucker. I know. See, I watch van life videos and some of them, and like some of the people that do them are all right. Like this one dude, Ryan Tooley, I think is his name. I watch him a lot, and he's kind of douchey because he does like cooking every episode, and sometimes you're watching him cook, and like you don't know shit, do you? But I like his videos. But then some of them you watch, and then you find the depressing ones where it's like what they don't tell you about van life, and then it's just a dude like looking hot and tired at the camera, and he's just like, "That's right, I shit in a bucket most days." And he's like, you think showers are a daily thing? It's just like, wow. I mean. Yeah, I guess I knew that, but I don't want to shit in a bucket. I like toilets.
It's like the Naked and Afraid episodes I've been watching lately. They've got a competition going on right now or it's ended, I guess.
You watch the weirdest porn.
Yeah.
They they were doing $100,000 prize.
The wife and kids are out of town. Naked and Afraid marathon.
Up,
they show asses. They show asses.
Oh man. Sorry.
It's fun.
I've watched. That's another one of those shows where I've seen clips, and it's like there's just like a dude buck ass naked, legs just crouch spreading over, and his fucking danglies dangling as he eats a fish in the river, and it's like, well, I wouldn't be there. That's
this
not
one has
me.
This one started out with like 12 of them, like all the like past participants. No, the participants.
All right.
And they've all done it before. Like they've done multiple shows of it, and they keep getting more and more. So they've done 60 days, 90 days, in the jungle or whatever.
Someone is supposed to be in that, like someone famous or.
I don't know
those shows, The Naked and Afraid. Someone, it's like they're starting something.
All right, I got a better show. Naked, oiled up Greco-Roman wrestling.
Yeah.
6 contestants. You get Greco-Roman experts. 6 contestants get all oiled up, and they got to go try to wrestle the expert. I will be like the final boss. You can call me E Honda. And that's how we're gonna. It's gonna be like a mixture of Wipeout and wrestling. There should be obstacle courses.
There's a writer strike and actor strike going on right now. You could probably put that out on YouTube and.
Oh God! Because of the writer strike, we've been looking for alternative entertainment. These people don't have contracts with us of any kind. Fuck Hollywood. I hope it crashes and burns. I hope Hollywood goes, you know what? We just don't have money for anything anymore. We're going to close up shop.
We're not going to have anything to review.
You'll have independent movies.
That's where independence.
That's what Mark Ruffalo said. Mark Ruffalo said, "Just go do independent. Go make $7,600 for 6 weeks' work, and just take independent roles, man. Because it's about the art, isn't it? It's like, no, motherfucker. This is a business. It's about the money. That's why we're striking, you piece of shit."
Well, when you say it's about the art, you know that I think almost all of Wes Anderson's movies, like all the actors get paid nothing.
The SAG minimum, which is like under 10 grand.
That's because they're required.
Than that.
Because of SAG, they're required to take certain roles for X amount of dollars.
No, I think they just like him. I mean, he's
They
they're
just
just
like him.
Bill
It's
Murray wouldn't be taking $7,500 to
Yeah.
do a movie if he didn't like the director writer.
Edward Norton, I think, took $500, like, or
Well,
something
no,
nuts.
the SAG. In order for you to get your SAG card,
This was strictly
you have
to
to
be
work.
in Wes Anderson film. They wanted to be like in his film. They
Well,
loved.
that's why they're all reoccurring people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't think
the one person
it has,
they want to work with is for that amount of money is him.
Yeah,
what I
If
mean?
it's
yeah.
a SAG requirement, wouldn't it be more than just?
Well, I
them?
mean, if you're in a
Same
Wes
guy?
Anderson movie, aren't you like automatically? Isn't it like automatically like, hey, we may have award season?
yeah.
Like that's one of the
100%.
things too. Like even his like what was the animated the Fox movie he did? I thought that movie was great. And I
Mr.
don't-
Fox.
Fantastic
You thought it was
Mr.
bad?
I know. I thought it was
Mr.
great.
Fox,
I love
whatever.
Oh, it was
Fantastic
amazing.
Mr. I love that movie.
I think the only one that wasn't as like the
Are you
Isle of
foxing
Dogs
me?
or something like that. But
Isle of Dogs actually isn't bad. I like that one too.
not
my
compared to
my
Fox. When you compare the Fox,
yeah.
it's way better.
my favorite is I mean I think obvious the Life Aquatic.
Life
I know some
Aquatic's
people would
classic.
say Rushmore. I'm more of
Rushmore's
a
number one.
for
if
me.
you
It's
have to
Life
pick.
Aquatic's number one.
Life Aquatic's good.
I only know bits and pieces of all those. I've never watched any of them because I couldn't stand them at the time.
They're artsy. It's not like anything you could.
It's
you know
dry.
What I'm saying?
You know,
like,
it's almost like American British humor. It's very dry.
When they all came out,
Kind of.
they were like, we only have like 5 of those copies because I was working at Blockbuster time, and it was people that were asking for them constantly that was pissing me off. And they're like
They're literally just asking for a product in a store that you work.
he's getting
No,
mad.
but
Hey
no,
man,
but
you got this movie
you-
because I'd love to see it.
Blockbuster,
No,
here he
fuck
is.
off.
you know how it goes
Here he is,
when
Blockbuster.
we get those regulars that would come in
Yeah.
and they would stand there for fucking 2 hours waiting for the fucking movie to come
Well,
in.
s-
You're
well,
like, dude, can you fucking go home?
Well, the annoying
Like,
thing
leave?
was is you'd have a line, and people would come in and return movies, and then they
Like,
would look. They
I
would
think
look
that was
at
it.
it and
That
then
was
look at you and be like, "Hey, can you check the box?" And it's like,
yeah,
yeah. Let
that's
me
the kind of
just
shit that-
stop what I'm
Oh,
doing with 4 people in line to go check the fucking box for you.
That's funny.
But
You'd
it
have
did.
a line
It,
wrapping around the fucking game
but it
section
did
and
become
shit.
like if it's in there, I can get him the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like if it's in that box right now, he leaves me the fuck alone. So
Yeah, Blockbuster was good times, man. I didn't work there, but I mean, going to Blockbuster was good times.
Alex and I both do. I liked most of my time at Blockbuster. Alex has a differing point of view.
I hate fucking upper management with a
Well, you were
fucking
like,
passion.
you were leadership, right?
Yeah.
I was held down from leadership because my what I thought was a close friend was just a piece of shit.
Ah, jeez.
He was a thief as well. I want to rat him out in like
Yeah.
in one of those documentary styles where like my face is blurred, and it's like he would take shit every day. Remember
use the
do you
voice
remember the
changer.
rock band?
One of the
stole
reasons
it.
why our store went down,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Profits would go down because he stole
Actually-
so much.
I was the scapegoat for that one. I got terminated because of all that theft that person did.
Jeez.
Good times. Good times.
I love Blockbuster.
I got threatened by a Mexican dude, and he waited for me after. So we called the cops, and the cops came, and they were both Hispanic, and the guy claimed I was racist to him. But the whole thing was, we let a dude in who was a regular, and this guy was like standing at the door, just getting there, and I was like, all right, you can come in too. And then he had late fees, and he didn't want to pay them. And I was like, bro, if you're not gonna pay your shit, you gotta go. We're closed. Then he started saying I let the white guy in, but once again, it was a regular. And so the cop's like, for the own sake of your job. And I looked at him, I go, I don't tell you how to be a cop. I go, just get this guy the fuck away from me or I'll handle business myself.
I don't tell you how to be a cop.
Like, don't come in here and tell me for the sake I wasn't racist to anybody. The guy's a fucking asshole. Like,
what was it? A regular customer, you said?
Well, the person we let in before him was like a dude that's there like nightly. It was like, because there was always the rental pass for quite a few years.
Yeah, the movie pass.
Where you can
Also-
check in a movie and check out another one same time.
Unlimited
Oh.
rentals as long as you come back and swap them out.
Yeah, so you had people coming back nightly because they'd watch a movie the night before, come back the next night, swap it for the next one.
And 10 minutes of the movie, they lived across the street and they'd come right back.
Yeah,
and
you had
fucking-
people doing that shit too, that they were always
Really?
there. Yeah.
They're probably recording them or something.
No,
Maybe.
it's literally 10 minutes. 10 minutes. They would go there and they were like, no,
Well, then you'd
They
have.
come
It
back.
takes to record in 5 minutes.
Well, then you'd have the dudes that like. There
well,
was
that's if you're
this,
ripping a DVD, but they weren't doing that.
there was this one guy who dressed like a poor dude, but he always had sports cars, and you knew he had money. Like he would
The
literally.
convertible, yeah.
He'd literally go home and watch the movie and then want to like give you his opinion on it. It's like that's okay
Was
when
it-
we're not busy, but when I got
Was it the
4
tall
people
guy
in
with the
line-
curly hair?
No, the short like kind of slumpy dude. He always had like a hat on.
There was a tall dude, curly hair. He kind of looked like Howard Sternish, and he had a convertible Porsche. he was a cop at 19th, I guess, and he would come in there all the time on a movie pass.
I did meet Blagojevich's wife.
Oh, she's fun.
No.
I know.
Yeah. She's an evil bitch.
Yeah.
Like, even when she's trying to be nice, you just, like, you can feel the Ice Queen kind of shivering off of her. You can see it in the atmosphere. All right, so let's try this again.
We got some movies to talk about.
The first one is The Fifth Element. Now, Rusty, I introduced it last time. Would you like to give us a short description on what the fuck this movie's about?
No. You go.
Okay.
All I'll tell you is Mel Gibson was asked to be Corbin Dallas. That's all. Then you start off. Go.
Dude, Mel Gibson in '97 would have been an awesome Corbin Dallas.
He would have been awesome, and it's funny because he asked. They were sharing like cubicles, or he was next door to him, and he asked him. He's like, "Hey, I would like for you to be in the film."
Fuck, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, and Mel Gibson like peeked over to him, and he's like, "Let me think about it," And then like a couple, I don't know if it was weeks, months go by, and he's like, "Sorry, I'll pass." But yeah, I think it would have been. I love Bruce Willis, but I think
it would have been better.
Yeah, I think Gibson would have been.
Mel Gibson's awesome, especially like late '90s Mel Gibson, where he was still in, like he was doing like Conspiracy Theory, Payback.
Yes,
dude. Two movies we need to do are Conspiracy Theory and I just had it in my head. Fuck, I'll get back to it. Anyway, all right. So Fifth Element.
Sorry.
Again, before the harp system attacks me again. I was eating some chili con queso, and the harp attacked me in Baja. Fifth Element is a movie about Bruce Willis is a former soldier. Right now, he's just kind of a down-on-his-luck cab driver with 10 points to his license. And he's doing his normal day, and a artificial, or organic, technically, super weapon, who they were only able to recover the arm of, is reincarnated. They rebuild her. She's the gorgeous Mila Djokovic. And she escapes and literally falls into the back of his cab as he's just going along on his day. And what ensues is essentially a story where the world needs to be saved every 5,000 years. Essentially, a demon planet comes to suck the life out of a specific planet. And Mila Djokovic is the ultimate weapon that's at the core, and Bruce Willis needs to be there to give her love. So, first and foremost, when did you guys first watch this movie? I watched this, I remember as a kid, my parents went to a Christmas party, Blockbuster had it, my brother and I watched it, and we ordered pizza, and I've loved this goddamn movie since that day.
I don't remember when I watched it. I know it was a very long time ago. DVD? No, I think it was on TV or DVD. I don't remember.
97. I probably
97 was probably VHS.
Getting stoned and sitting in my basement watching it. I rented it.
So maybe TV
on VHS.
I saw this movie before I saw The Professional. Now I do like Luc Besson. I think his quality of movies has gone down. I do enjoy. So there's a caveat, right? Like The Professional is badass. This is badass. I think the first Taken is badass, but only if you're watching the European unrated cut. I remember before Taken came out, I got a bootleg of it that was the European cut, and I was like, this is awesomely violent. This is fucking badass. And then we went to the theaters to see it, and it was the PG-13 cut, and I was like really disappointed. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And so always watch the unrated cut on Taken. Like, seriously, never watch the PG-13 version. It's fucking garbage.
Taken was good.
Do you know that, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, you remember Saved by the Bell, right?
Yeah.
Elizabeth Berkley. She was supposed to be
Lilu?
Yeah,
really?
Oh, wow.
When did Showgirls come out? Was that because of that?
It was around 96, 97.
I think around that time, yeah. She was.
So maybe she was doing Showgirls instead. She was like, no, I gotta turn it down.
Actually, I think Bassan, he's like, you know what? I think Mila has.
I need somebody younger who looks more like a little girl.
Because they were banging.
She had the past future look. So he's like.
They didn't start banging until after filming.
Yeah, but she said that they didn't, so there was no connection. But he did say that she had the past future look, like she looked like kind of perfect for the sci-fi.
Well, yeah, she had those Slavic eyes and everything too, that Eastern European look.
So Berkeley looked too modernized.
What was that horrible movie she did where she was it was based off of a graphic novel, not Aeon Flux. There was another one she did. It was awful. Can't remember the name of it. Yeah, it was like
Berkeley.
Monster Hunter.
No, that was awful, but no, not that movie. No, this
She did
one,
another
not
side
Elizabeth Berkley. Mila Jovovich was in like a where she had a sword and she was trying to, I think, rescue her daughter or some shit.
Ultraviolet,
Ultraviolet. That movie was
Oh, yeah.
terrible.
I, I I don't remember hating it, but I remember comparing Aeon Flux to that. Like when someone would bring it up, just like you did, I would always think
I
of
mean,
Aeon
yeah,
Flux.
neither one of. I mean, I think the true winner in that era for that style movie is really Equilibrium.
Oh, Equilibrium
Yeah.
is
Like
phenomenal.
I love
when you look
Equilibrium.
at that era of like neo cyberpunk movie, there was like a 3 to 5 year stretch of movies that all had that really heavy blue tint, that almost 1984 meets Fahrenheit 451 dystopia sort of vibe, and I think the king of it was Equilibrium.
Equilibrium, man.
That movie was the shit.
It
Still is
is
the shit. Yes.
Still, yeah, yeah,
Tankata.
You know what movie I want to review on this fucking thing? It's just a kind of a long movie. Is Brotherhood of the Wolf. You ever see that movie?
No.
Yes, I have.
That movie is a weird
French,
mix. Yeah, it's a
right?
weird.
It's French.
Yeah, it's a weird mix. It's a French movie that is a martial arts movie. It's a horror movie. It's a romance movie. It's a war, like a Civil War type movie. Mark Dukakis is in it. He plays a Native American. There's literally a scene where they go and there's all these like savage other village people that have met up for this thing, this hunt, and he beats the shit out of like 6 of them. It's a badass movie. You should check it out. It's on Shudder, or I saw it. iTunes just bumped it up to 4K in the resolution, so I gotta watch it because of that too.
I have to check it out.
So Fifth Element.
Yeah, you'll like it.
Now this movie really is its own kind of vibe. It is it's one of those movies that's really kind of cartoonish in its design. It's colorful, it's wacky. I think a lot of that is owed to Chris Tucker's performance. His character is just really where everything is eccentric in this movie, whether it be, the way people are dressed, the way the city's run, every performance is eccentric, and I think that's part of the everlasting awesomeness. I mean, look at Gary Oldman's outfit. He's got a weird bald cap thing on.
He hates that movie. He hates that movie.
Really?
Really?
Yes.
What an asshole. The movie's awesome.
No, he thinks it's the one. I mean, I can see from his perspective. I guess his character, which I think his character is amazing, but
he's evil.
I know that he hates the movie. He's like he's this worst of his.
Real quick, I saw a trailer for that Voyage of the Demeter. The movie's looking pretty cool.
That's the Dracula, the Dracula shit.
Yeah, the whole thing about where it's based on the voyage.
Yes. It does
Trailer's
look good.
looking pretty decent.
Yes.
We brought up Gary Oldman. I think he's awesome in this movie. I think the action is one of the things that's like. I know at the time it was like the largest explosion anybody had ever done indoors.
Yeah, for its time. Yeah.
Its time. I mean, some of the action set piece. I mean, the whole latter half of the movie is just. The whole movie's really well written. It's really well acted. It's bright. It's colorful. There's some the opera scene. There's some cool things in that where she literally had to record all of those separate and they audio engineered it because the notes she was doing were inhumanly possible. You couldn't go from as high to as low as she was, so it's all mixed in the audio. However, nobody saw her until she does the performance on stage, so
they didn't know what she was going to look like.
Yeah, they didn't know what it was going to look like, so it was all. I mean, you also have to look at it from the actor's perspective of it's her behind a green screen or in front of a green screen.
Yeah.
So but that was the first time they saw her. But the actions, I mean, Bruce Willis is awesome in this role. He's appropriately witty. Bruce Willis wasn't the same as Ryan Reynolds, but he was almost like that 90s tough guy version of Ryan Reynolds. He was the witty, sarcastic asshole.
Yeah. The entire cast was actually really good. I think they cast them really well.
Cornelius was really good. Mila Jovovich is awesome in it. This movie, she deserved to kind of get rocketed to stardom because of this movie.
Even Cornelius's apprentice, he was good at what he was doing.
Yeah.
So all around.
They did
even Tiny Lister. Even Tiny Lister.
Don't forget what's his name from 90210 that was in it for 4 minutes.
Luke Perry.
Yeah.
He was.
He's literally one of the title card. It's almost like they put him in there just so they can put him on the title card.
That's right. He was. I forgot. It's funny when Bruce Willis first saw Chris Tucker. When he saw him dressed, fully dressed, he looked at him and seriously told him, he's like, "Do you know this can ruin your career?" He's like, "You're aware of that, right?"
He's
And he
just
said
like a
that
clown.
right before Luke Besson was like, action to start the
Oh,
thing.
jeez.
So can you imagine Chris Tucker is like, what the fuck, you know?
I'm just trying to make it,
I'm pretty sure
man.
his response. I'm pretty sure his response was, "I don't give a fuck, man."
Yeah, he's
Right.
like, I don't give
Just
a
show me
fuck.
the
And he
money.
said that hair cone, whatever the hell that
Yeah.
Well,
was.
what was that movie he was in with Charlie Sheen that was actually decent?
Money Talks, man.
Money
Amazing
Talks,
movie.
yeah.
Money
I also
Talks, amazing.
enjoy Money for Nothing, or what's the one with Tim Robbins and Martin Lawrence?
All for Nothing or All
Nothing
or
to
Nothing?
lose.
Nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose.
Dude,
that was-
I like those '90s like black white dude movies. They're always funny.
Yeah, Money Talks was good, man. It was a classic. They got to whatever. So I was gonna go into the whole Money Talks, but I love it. It was a good movie. Good movie.
We do this shit all the time, and we go on tangents, and that's
Yeah,
why.
it should have been called the ADD podcast, but
Yeah.
in retrospect,
ADHD.
ADHD, the show.
Movie review.
We got to get the ESPN sound. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. Huh? What? Squirrel? But yeah, so I love this movie, dude. Like since I was a kid, I for some reason it is ingrained in my memory. We rented it on probably tape at the time.
Yeah.
And we ordered a pizza because my parents were at my dad's Christmas party, so they were gone for the night. And we watched that fucking movie, and I've loved it ever since. The 4K transfer is nice; it's clean. They did a decent job upscaling it. Some of the CG, because it was, that shit was rendered in whatever resolution they could. So upscaling it to 4K, it's going to look a little cheap.
Yeah, because
but
if your parents were involved in this, you wouldn't have been able to watch it at the part where she like has her tits out.
well, it was
because it wasn't blood.
PG-13. I think my
It wasn't
dad
blood and
eventually
guts.
did watch it with us though. Like my dad was weird. Like literally, yeah. If there was when I remember he rented Species, and I think I was able to watch like 4 minutes of that movie because it was just like cover your eyes,
Wasn't
and
that-
you would hear
Yeah, wasn't that?
yeah, you would hear him just
Crazy,
like,
right?
God damn it, come on, and he'd fast forward. But he also was like, hey, let's go to the Davis and go see Blade. Like literally the first Blade where like their
Blade,
blood and guts is shooting everywhere, but there's no tits, so he's like, fine with me. When we saw when we saw vampires at the Davis, he literally at the beginning scene where they're pulling them out from the nest and torching them with the winch. He's like, oh, there goes, and he's naming the one woman from his work, and he's like, there's this one, and he's naming all these people from his work. My dad's insane. He has no problem with violence, but when we were kids, nowadays he doesn't give a fuck. But like when we were kids, it was like, nah, if there's tits, like cover your eyes. So like those days, like, oh, god damn it.
You could watch somebody getting their head cut off and blood splattering everywhere, but you can't see
Yeah, the
boobs.
violence and language was okay, but like, well, now and then nowadays, I don't have patience for nude scenes. Like every time there's a nude scene in a modern movie, it's like, can we get back to the fucking killing? Like,
Yeah,
come
like,
on.
exactly. There's okay,
Like horror movies.
If they're
movies
brief, I don't care.
Horror movies don't need like okay, brief as in like the chick goes into the room and changes her shirt and you get a slight tit shot.
Or the
And it's
screen
over with,
blurs
yeah.
off, like when they're starting back into the business,
Yeah, like I don't need like.
But if they
modern
stop
horror,
and they walk around, they're like, "What?" And they're like naked and they're looking out, like, "Let me go look out the window."
Well, even that,
Like,
if you're
what
gonna
the
do
fuck?
that, then you better chase her around and you better have a decent enough makeup department where it can realistically look like you stabbed her to death with no shirt on. Like if you're gonna have her tits out, then you better cover them in blood by the end of the fucking scene.
American
Like
Psycho, huh?
horror movies don't need like back in the day. That's all it was. It was like here's a bunch of sex and nudity, because we're gonna get your blood flowing from that, and then we're gonna cut their fucking heads off and get your blood flowing from that. I don't think horror I think it's evolved to the point where those shitty nude scenes you'd see, and like look at when they remade Friday the 13th. Awesome remake, but by the end of the movie, there's a scene in there where it's almost basically softcore porn, and it's like this isn't needed anymore.
In the remake?
Yeah, in the Friday the 13th reboot. Like, that sort of scene is not, in my opinion, is not needed, especially when you look at what people like Ari Aster are doing with Hereditary and all these really dark, wonderful horror movies. I don't think the old campy, like, well, we got to have a fuck scene, we got to have a beheading scene, we got to have a Lost in the Woods scene. Yeah, I don't think it's needed anymore. I think, honestly, every time I get to a nude scene in a movie, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Come on.
Yeah.
My remote for my Apple TV gives me 10 seconds ahead, so I just hit that a few times and skip the fucking thing. Now, this movie does have 2 nude scenes, oddly enough, but they're brief.
I don't remember any nude scenes.
So the first one is when they rebuild her and you first see her boobies. And then there's
Okay.
one later on where she
Isn't Chris
changes.
Tucker in the ship with
No,
When
when
she's
they
soaking wet.
when they first rebuild her.
When she's wet from the auto
When-
wash.
no, that's not yet. No. When they first rebuild her when she's in the
yeah.
tube. That's the first nude scene you get. And then Yes, when
Okay.
she's in the auto wash from the fridge and she goes to she pulls her shirt off to change it, you get another glimpse. There is an almost third one again, but they cover up with the two others' bodies.
What you were talking about the ship one? You were talking about with Ruby Rod, where
Yeah,
he's
isn't he
That's
like?
no, it's
That's
just
not
it's just
really a nude
simulation.
scene.
It's just
Yeah.
it leaves it
Okay.
all into
I
your
want
head.
all positions.
I want all positions.
I think Chris Tucker doesn't get enough credit
He's-
for how
Yeah,
like
he's
integral he is
amazing.
to this movie. Because
And to
without,
be
I
able
mean,
to talk as fast as he does, shit, man.
well, I think we said it last time, but the fact that they wanted Prince for that role, it would have been an entirely different energy.
It would have been so mellow.
Hey, baby girl, yeah.
With Prince.
Why
What's
don't
up, baby
you
girl?
come on down to Ruby Rod's radio every day at 5 to 7?
You wanna ride in my little red
Y'all
Corvette?
want some pancakes? Yeah, dude, I would not have
Pancakes.
wanted Prince in there. Like the idea of
No.
the idea of musical stars being in movies is something that I'm glad kind of died in the 80s.
Common is actually pretty good in the movies that he's been in.
Yeah, Common is good.
Common is pretty good.
DMX
With John Wick,
actually
right?
for what it was decent in the few movies he was in, but like
Ja
overall
Rule and some of the Fast Furious movies.
no,
He
no.
regrets that
Tom,
stupid Ja
no,
Rule.
Tom.
No.
You know he regrets that he was asking for more money or something like that in the first one, or after the first one to come to the second
Yeah,
one.
because he would have been the lowest paid man, but he would have had 10 fucking paychecks by now.
No, by now he wouldn't. He would. I don't even know if he would have been the lowest paid. I mean, maybe after one,
Well,
two,
once you're part of the
three,
family, you get more checks, right?
Once you're up there, you're gonna start bringing in the dough. But
Yeah, Ja Rule doesn't need to be in any movies. He sucks.
no, yeah,
I don't want to see him in anything ever again,
No,
unless
no,
it's his own parole case.
wasn't he scamming people too for that?
Yeah,
Trip?
that was that.
Yeah.
That
Fry,
like
right?
Fry
Fry,
Fest.
yeah.
Yeah. Come on out.
Claims he didn't know anything
You
about
gonna
it.
get sewage water?
Yeah.
You know that whole thing was a
Bologna
fucking
sandwiches,
scam.
right?
You're
Yeah.
gonna get a moldy bread sandwich.
It was basically prison food.
Did you watch that documentary on Hulu?
I not on Hulu, but yeah, I seen it.
Well, there's one on Hulu, man. It's fucking fantastic.
It
Fry
was
Festival?
almost like they
Yeah.
stole like church donation, like like the church food that
Uh-huh.
they give out on a Sunday.
What did they do with the money? Like they ended up getting away with it? Did anyone get held accountable?
Well, embezzling, I think, is
Yeah.
the term they used.
The main guy, the one that kept fucking trying to put all these things together, and he kept lying to everybody. He was taking all the money and just going.
Yeah, but did he ever go to jail or?
I
Good
don't know if he did, but I know Ja Rule and everybody had to pay money back, like restitution.
I don't
Yeah,
think
but
anybody
all of
ended
it, I
up.
think they still came up with money.
I don't think anybody ended up going to jail for it.
Wow, that's insane. Sorry.
I mean,
Fifth Element,
like,
amazing.
okay, so like, I do agree somebody should have been punished, but in the same token, it's like, really, all you did was fuck over a bunch of rich, privileged assholes. So I don't feel a whole lot bad for them. If you know, like, if you had money to get scammed by Fry Fest, it's kind of like, ah, fuck you, like.
Because it was expensive. It wasn't like
Yeah,
was.
it wasn't.
It was.
It wasn't like, hey, I'm gonna go to the day one of this festival. It's like, hey, it's thousands of dollars.
No, it was like big money. Yeah.
Which no, you know, so it's like, you're not fucking over the middle class on this one. You're fucking over Jada Pinkett Smith's daughter. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, fuck them. You're fucking over the Obama twin girls. Like, fuck them.
They could call in. They could call in their own fucking, vehicle to get out of
Yeah,
there.
you're fucking over Justin Bieber's cousin or sister. Like, fuck them.
Weren't they stranded there too? Like they had.
Well, that was the whole thing.
A
Was the
lot of them,
transportation, I think, took hours because they only had so many buses. Eventually, when people wanted out, so like,
buses. That
yeah, they
needed jets,
they were
moving to, like, an
shuttling.
island.
I think they were shuttling people though to the nearest airport.
Mhm.
No, I think the airport was like on the actual island.
was it
like,
really?
Yeah, it was just like
these
a.
people
It was
were
just like a
stranded.
So
They had
okay,
to
right
sleep in
there,
the
right
cabanas.
there. Fuck you guys. You're going to an event that's literally on an airport, so your rich asses can land there. Like, I don't
that's
feel
about
bad
as big
for
as the
you.
island.
I don't-
Yeah,
I-
right. Yeah.
It's the airport and everything. That was all the island.
Yeah, I don't feel
They
bad
were-
for you.
They were turning a hangar in the airport or whatever into.
Well, they
different
tried
things,
that
too.
with Woodstock. What was it, '99?
Yeah.
They were sleeping in the cabanas, like they were flipping them over. It was like a hot mess. Sorry.
Woodstock
Right.
'99. They actually somebody got the keys to one of the buses or vans and drove it into the place while people were fucking partying.
Well, yeah, they also started several fires.
Uh-huh.
That was another documentary that was pretty good. I think Limp Bizkit gets a bad rap. It's not their job to control the crowd. It's their job to hype them up.
Yeah.
They're gonna, you know, is it fair to tell a band, hey, you can't go out and perform like you normally do because, well, shit's getting out of control? It's like, isn't that your job to control it? Because my job's to perform. So I think they tried to pin that on Limp Bizkit in the documentary, and I didn't think that was all that fair.
When I
Limp
saw the documentary,
Bizkit.
it wasn't their fault.
I mean, they could have helped. You know, the Red Hot Chili Peppers could have helped, but that was bad circumstance because they told Jimi Hendrix's daughter, like, yeah, we'll play Fire, no problem. Like, because I guess they used to do it on a road as a cover normally, and she was there, and they wanted like an homage. But at the point they played it, there was literally fires.
And Flea's out there with his
in the
fucking
crowd,
dick dangling around.
yeah, and his sock.
He took it off.
I don't like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like, I like a couple songs. I like the "Give It Away." I like
California
"Higher Ground," but I'm not a. I'm their later stuff is just way too mellow for me. I don't need that mellow shit, man. I need something that pumps my blood, man.
How about the acting skills of Anthony Kiedis and Flea?
I think Flea in the Back
Break.
to the Future series wasn't bad. Point
And
Break,
Point
I don't
Break?
remember him enough in. Probably terrible in Point Break.
So the original Anthony Kiedis fucking shoots himself in the foot
Oh, I remember
when
Anthony
they
Kiedis
when they raid the house, and Flea is one of his guys too.
Back to the Future, man. I love Back to the Future.
Back to the Future is probably the greatest trilogy because I really even love the third one. In my opinion,
yeah.
it's probably the most well-rounded, greatest trilogy out there.
They all have little
Future,
plot
man.
holes, or like, you know, but it's
Who
put
cares?
together so good together. It's
Yeah,
so good.
yeah, and that's the
a
thing
movie
is
I
like,
can watch back to back to back to
Yep.
back to back and
Yeah.
never get like bored of it. Like, or
yeah, for some reason, dude, it's just so well made, and you're so encompassed in like Hill Valley that like you watch the first one, and you're like, fuck, let's watch the second. Then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, we
Yeah,
can't not
yeah.
watch the third. But
Yeah.
you know what we did watch? We watched The Mummy 2. And I got the patented wife answer of it's okay.
Brendan Fraser.
So yeah, Brendan Fraser. I want to
It's
watch.
okay.
I want to
That was
watch The
good.
Mummy 3 because I've never actually watched The Mummy 3.
The Scorpion King.
Yeah,
I've
I
never
want
seen
to
that
watch
either.
The Scorpion King. I haven't seen that movie in a while.
Bad CG.
I heard
You know,
about that.
I
yeah.
actually watched the. We watched it on 4K on Vudu. The CG is still shit, but it's aged better than what it was when it came out. Like when it came out, everybody's like, "This is dog shit." But in retrospect, it's not as bad as everybody was making it.
And for the time, I guess, right?
Well, see, the bad CG is like really the Rock's face on it is the bad part. But when you're watching the scene, and I only know this because I just watched it, the CG and the lighting and everything around the Scorpion King though is immaculately done. Like everything he interacts with and fucks with, all of that CG damage and all that sort of stuff is great. It's just the way he looks is goofy as shit. Like the mummy, the mummy, the sand army that comes up looks great. You know, all the creatures that are in the movie look great. It's just him. Anaxalamun, she looks like everybody looks. You know, Ninotep. They all look great. It's just he looks like shit. His scorpion, like, and that's the whole thing. Is at the end of the movie, it's like, what's the fucking point of the Rock when at the end of the movie it's literally his stupid face
They're
with
not
a
gonna use him. They're
fucking
just gonna-
scorpion body?
They're just gonna CGI him. Yeah.
Didn't he have his eyebrow up too? Like he was doing.
Of course, I'm sure. I know in the
I think he
Scorpion
did.
King he delivers a rock bottom because every movie he was in for like
Oh,
the
yeah,
first
yeah,
10
yeah.
movies had to have a rock bottom.
Yeah.
Fucking Doom
Back
has
to
a rock
Fifth
bottom.
Element, Back to Fifth Element. For Demi Moore and Bruce Willis, she would babysit. So Mila would babysit for them to go out sometimes because they would always have their kids on.
That's
scene.
kind of cute.
Okay.
That is pretty cool.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Where it's like, yeah, I'm 19, and you know he would never want to do a 19-year-old, right? So we'll babysit your children. Although she was banging Luke Besson at this point.
So one of the things I found out that Mila's wig that she had to wear, the reason why she had to wear it was because the hairstyle is
right?
fucked up.
Well, see, I was looking for that because it's not a wig.
Burned her hair.
It's not a wig
No,
throughout
her
the whole
hair was-
movie either.
No,
But
it's because her hair would show. So what it was damaging her hair. The dye was damaging it because they kept
Yeah.
Imagine that.
because she had her real hair showing. So every
Yeah.
time it was growing, it was showing her real hair. So they started dyeing it, and it was damaging her hair and like burning up her hair.
Yeah.
So at that point, they're like, we got to put a wig on you because it's destroying your head.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah, one of the
aged
things
pretty
I found on
gracefully. She looks to like she reminds me a little bit of Maggie from Walking Dead.
I just don't like those
Okay.
Resident Evil movies, man. I'm probably gonna get
The first one's
heat from
cool.
somebody.
The second one is goofy but tolerable. And then after that they just get like by the last movie it's just laughably dumb. The CG and the violence, Not bad, decent quality, but like the movie itself is just stupid.
Who directed those? Or that's her husband, right? Who's her husband?
Paul
now?
Thomas Anderson, yeah.
And he's basically putting her in all the movies just because it's his wife, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
After
mean,
that,
more,
yeah.
more or less. I mean, well,
Yeah.
look at the director of Underworld. He did the same fucking thing.
With Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah, he was married to her when they did that.
Yeah, but Kate Beckinsale now.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah, you know, you get.
So
sure.
you guys just that's the last thing we were talking about before. The
Underworld
whole,
1 is
Serengeti.
awesome. I gotta watch that movie. Sorry, Alex. I just thought of the scene where the werewolf dude's just like, oh! They start fighting in a fucking train station for no reason.
That Michael Sheen guy you said that she was married to at first.
Yeah.
Oh boy, the
He's
pumps gonna go
from
out
Good
again.
Omens now. That Amazon.
Hold on, I'm in the bar. I hear the rumbling.
Don't mention him again.
We're gonna
Paul.
fire down upon me with the harp.
The
Yeah, no, sorry,
Amazon
go ahead.
Prime TV show is Good Omens. He's on that now
Yes,
with
yeah.
David Tennant.
And like I found out they were married, and it just made me sad. It's like she stooped to that level. Like, and of course, when you
She is married
first, when you
No, they used to be.
They had a kid
He's
together.
only like 3 or 4 years older than her though.
Well, the crazy thing is, and the other problem is, you don't see Kate Beckinsale the person when you first see her. You see Kate Beckinsale clad in leather so tight you can see every crevice she has, and it's like then you look at him and you're like, yeah, I get it. He's in the movie with her. He plays the head Lycan in the first one. That's her ex-husband.
Yeah.
Lucius, whatever his name was. That's him. And he looks
And half
badass
the
in
time
Underworld, and then you see him in real life, and he's made out of a carrot. Like, he's just a carrot that
and
somebody carved the face on.
he's always got like really bad facial hair. Like he just lets it really go. Like
Do you know
bad.
she's obsessed with penises, right? Like
Yeah,
she has
she was with
sculptures
Pete
everywhere
Davidson, and she's a weird one. She's a
got
fucking
sculptures
psycho.
of Pete Davidson's dick. What?
Well, she might,
I don't know
but
about
she was
his,
with
but
him.
she has sculptures
Oh.
everywhere. She has like sculptures or penises,
Hey,
like pepper.
By the way, Joe
salt and shaker
Magliano
pepper.
and Sofia Vergara is on the market.
They're breaking up. Or
Dude, he probably was like, I don't have time for you. I want more D&D.
I saw a wrestling meme where it says Sofia
he's heavy into D&D, right?
Sofia Vergara, yeah.
Yeah. Big
And
time.
Joe Maglione has broken up after 7 years of marriage, and they show Seth Rollins running in with a briefcase to go cash in the money.
Dude,
in the bank on
okay, I know this isn't a wrestling podcast, but I liked Becky Lynch the way she looked before she had a kid, and then she came back and she was too thin, and now I don't like the way she looks.
Who?
Oh,
Becky Lynch.
the wrestler Becky Lynch,
Becky Lynch. I don't know who that is.
orange hair.
I like some of the wrestlers, like, and I guess maybe I'm too much of a critic because I like some of the wrestlers to have a little bit of meat on them and not be rail and bones. But then you see one of those ones like Nia Jax, and it's like, bitch, you need to hit the gym. But I say that about wrestling stars too. I've been saying for years that
Samoa Joe.
Eddie Kingston needs
Eddie
to fucking
Kingston.
lose some fucking weight, especially as the champion. You need to get in the fucking gym, stop drinking so much, and build some fucking muscle. And I said the same thing about Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe's been in the industry 15 years, and he's never gotten rid of his man tits. He's never built his muscle up in his shoulders to actually look like shoulders. Like, you have no fucking excuse. Like, everybody else here
Unless you're
understands.
Samoan.
Fuck you. Everybody else here understands this is a beauty contest, except for your fat ass who looks like you work out at KFC. Like, it's not an
So-
excuse.
When Rikishi first started, he was skinny as fuck, and
I don't know
then
about
he became that
skinny
big.
as
Well,
fuck,
see, but then Rikishi.
He wasn't Rikishi back then.
But when he became
was he?
Rikishi, his whole
He
character
was,
was
I
about
think he
his
was the
big fat
Tonga
ass.
kid. He was the Tonga kid.
Oh yeah, I think he was.
He was
Right.
really skinny.
And then Rikishi became the Samoan dude who shoves his ass in your face.
I
yeah,
remember that. Gee.
Thanks,
So-
WWE.
See, it's difficult when you're picking like I looked up your Becky,
Becky Lynch.
and I think she's okay, but like
Well, pre-kid, she had a little bit more meat on the bones. Then she had a kid and
Yeah.
then came back really skinny.
but when I'm talking about wrestling females, like I go back to like Stacy Keibler, like I like so like
Well, see, they
Oh,
weren't
those
even
long-legged.
thick, but they, I mean, Tori Wilson, you had even Lita.
I even Alita, I even like the Bella twins.
then
Like
you had
even though they're
Trish
more
Stratus.
modernized, I guess. Trish
Do you
Stratus.
guys remember Wendy Richter, Rockin' Robin?
Kelly?
See, that's my shit. Fabulous Moolah.
Well,
It's
Fabulous Moolah ever
80s.
attractive?
Very early 80s.
Tori Wilson.
Tori Wilson.
Yeah. She
I
looks
don't
bad
know.
now, though. Like
Does she
now,
really?
Tori Wilson, yeah.
Stacey Keebler.
Too much plastic surgery. Too much plastic surgery.
Stacey Keebler was like
Really?
fucking.
Yeah.
Wasn't she with the
She
baseball
still
player?
looks good. She
Who's
dated George Clooney for a while.
Oh,
And
George,
she's, and now she's
George
with.
Clooney,
Now she's.
in
I think now
Flash,
she's
too.
with the baseball player.
Yeah, what's his face? Like high profile guy. He's out of baseball now. He's retired, but
George
Yeah, but
Clooney's also in Flash. Sorry, spoiler.
his Batman's in Flash.
It's at the end. Like he's not Batman. He like walks up to Flash and he's like, "So what are you doing?" He's like, "Well, I'm looking for Batman." And he goes, "Are you joking?" He goes, I am Batman, or something like that, and it's like, and he's like confused, Flash, like, huh?
And he's like, I'm joking.
It's
You
funny.
want an espresso?
Yeah, it's funny because they have two. The actor Flash, I didn't have an issue with him, whatever his name is.
I think he's a decent actor. I think he's just a piece of shit person.
Yeah, and after I found out he was a piece of shit person, I look at his acting different. And the funny thing is, in this movie, there's two Flashes, and one of them is like his real life
person.
His real life
Yeah,
persona.
Manipulative, cult-like evil.
It makes you, the actual Flash is like the nice one, and then the other one's like a little.
See, I'm a Snyder loyalist with the DC shit, dude. I love Man of Steel. I like Batman vs Superman. I like his version of Justice League. I like
Man of
his
Steel.
his version of Wonder Woman was straight up badass. The Wonder Woman movies we got sucked. Like
I
the
love,
the first one that everybody loved,
she's
I
a
thought was
horrible actress, but I love
boring.
her.
Who? Gal Gadot?
Yeah, I don't think she's a great actress, but I think she's beautiful, and I think she's not bad. But
I like her because she's former Israeli army and she's got 3 kids and has been married to the same dude for a long time and is still humble and awesome. I like her as a person.
yeah. She seems like an amazing person. But I'm curious to see how she does her the movie that she's got coming up.
The question I have is, what do they do with Aquaman now? How could you make another one if you don't know what the fucking future of the... If they reset the whole universe, like, what's the deal? What's the point? You always still have a movie. Is the Aquaverse not part of humanity? Is that its own thing?
Do there, man. It's gonna be tough.
All right, let's give our hot dogs on Fifth Element because we still got another movie to talk about.
Oof.
Easy for me. This is a 5. I love this movie. It might have faults. Yeah, it might be a little bit too goofy in departments, but I think a lot of that goof is the big part of its charm. And this is a movie that I'd watch over, and I'd recommend this movie every time. 5 out of 5 for me.
I'll go. It is a 5 out of 5 for me as well. Like I said, every character that's in this movie, they were properly cast for everything that they were doing. Even like line deliveries for what's his name, the apprentice of Cornelius.
Yeah.
Like
Which
when he was like, "Oh no, I was
remember-
just sitting here," and I
remember
said,
his name at all.
you know,
David?
yeah, I can't remember it.
Was it David?
David, I think David, maybe. But
You
like,
wouldn't
when
know.
he-
You
when he
wouldn't
was
be here if it wasn't for my boy David.
when he was doing the whole thing about for the win, and he like gives that like he delivered that line really good. So I like that shit, and the action was actually pretty good.
I just sat here and I went, "We're not going to make it."
Yeah, and
Comment.
The movie was Cleopatra is what she has coming up.
Oh, okay.
like re-envisioning.
I thought
Yeah,
they
she
brought
does
out the Black Cleopatra movie
I don't know, but I know it's
because that's causing uproar because they cast a black woman as Cleopatra. So you had the group of people going, Cleopatra was black, and then you have historians going, "What? No, that's no." That's the whole debate, basically. People who know what they're talking about are going, "You don't know what you're talking about," to people who don't know what they're talking about.
So you gave it a 5 also?
I did, yes.
I
would
this
say
movie.
I want to give it a 5. The reason why I'm not giving it a 5,
What is your reason?
and I'm gonna give it a 4.9, just because
Oh,
I would love to see Mel Gibson as.
I
I
know.
think it would have been fucking nuts. But
I mean, even
yeah,
it could
it's
have
a
been
5.
worse. He might not have been as witty, but I don't know, man. I think back to
he might not have gelled with the cast either.
I think
You never
Lethal
know.
Weapon, Riggs, Payday. Conspiracy Theory was a different type of role for him, and I thought he did really well in that. I would have loved to seen it. I mean, The Patriot came out around that same time. He was on a motherfucking hot streak too.
He was. That's when he was like on fire. So it's like you couldn't do wrong.
Fuck,
But
man.
no, it's a 5 for me. Also, hands down. Anytime. That's another movie. If I catch it on, I won't switch it. I will leave it
Yeah.
on. It's another Back to the Future for
And
me.
it's one of
Leave it
those
on and watch
movies.
it.
Another movie that's kind of like that for me is Judge Dredd. It's got the
Judge
same
Dredd's
sort of
another one.
cyberpunk, colorful. Like you kind of watch it for the visual candy as well. All right,
yes.
second movie we're doing. This one's going to be a little bit quicker, a lot less budget. The Big Hit. This movie essentially is about Mark Wahlberg hip hopping his way through life as a hitman. He works with a crew, one of which who's just discovered masturbating, one of which who doesn't really seem to be in the movie much at all, And then another character who's played by Lou Diamond Phillips that is just a piece of shit snake in the grass who,
Yeah.
well, he decides to
He did
kidnap...
so good.
He decides to... Yeah, I love him in this movie. It's the only reason I like Lou Diamond Phillips is because he's in this movie. They decide to kidnap a young girl
like him in Young Guns?
and try... I liked him and I saw him in this first, I think.
They
Which movie did you say? Sorry.
Young Guns.
Young
Young
Guns.
Guns. Yeah. Sorry,
I'm
go
more of
ahead.
a Val Kilmer guy in
Kilmer,
whatchamacallit.
go.
The other one.
Tombstone.
And essentially they kidnap the wrong girl. The girl happens to be the goddaughter of their boss. Unbeknownst to him, they kidnap her. And Lou Diamond Phillips tries a way to weasel his way out of it. Now, one of the storylines I've always hated in this movie is the dynamic of the two women. You've got the angry black girlfriend, and then you've got the Christina Applegate fiance. There are scenes in this movie, watching it now, and I still like the movie. It is what it is.
Yeah.
It's a low budget, decently funny, pretty decent action movie. But the relationship dynamic it doesn't borderline. It is goofy at points, and it's to the point of like he's literally got body pieces in garbage bags. The dog is outside trying to get the garbage bags. He's trying to get the girl he's got kidnapped from one room to the other. Meanwhile, trying to make a kosher meal. It becomes too much at a certain point where this time I watched it, I was like, all right, this is stupid.
Also,
It feels like a straight comedy, right? It's supposed to like it goes from nothing more.
Yeah,
than
like
comedy,
where's the
right?
Benny Hill sound effects?
it was supposed to be like
Yeah.
a dark comedy, but it wasn't really dark comedy. It was just
Oh.
No.
he was also Simple Jack before Ben Stiller was Simple Jack.
Yeah. Hey Noah. Hi. Yeah. Hi, Mrs. Horowitz. I'm gonna make a nice
Oh,
kosher
he
meal
was
for
like-
you.
No,
He-
it was
and
Mark
he looked
Wahlberg,
like
that was Mark
Simple-
Wahlberg.
He looked like Simple Jack too.
Maybe that's it. Maybe they based Simple Jack off of Mark Wahlberg's early career.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because he definitely
It's
does
funny,
have
dude.
like a. No, I gotta return the videotape. Have you seen my King Kong videotape?
Yeah.
The way he talks in this is just as bad as the way he talks in The Happening. Like whoever his acting coach was, that's like you need to talk soft and like. I'm glad he fired that motherfucker. Because wow, what a mistake it is.
What's that character in The Simpsons? Hey, I got a popsicle over here. You
Yeah,
wanna come to my
well,
basement?
basically in this movie, he is the impersonation that what's his face from Brooklyn Nine-Nine did of him on SNL. He had that skit where he's like Mark Wahlberg talks to animals, and he's like, "Hey, little bird, how's it going being a bird? Say hi to your mother for me." Yeah, and he's like, "Hey, dog." Like it was spot on for this movie. With that said, the action set pieces in this movie are pretty cool. The soundtrack gets annoying
except for
because
the
it's just
slow motion. Except for the
Yeah,
slow motion.
slow motion-
Slow motion like
Bullshit.
breakdancing shit.
slow motion's
It was
always cheesy.
bullshit.
And then the like almost
mean,
like
was
solar
it for
glow
its
around him
time?
when he's like pulling the
I
curtains
didn't like it
back.
then.
There are
I didn't
funny
like them
scenes, like when he kills the bad guy in the beginning, and Lou Diamond Phillips is like, "I totally killed that guy. He was still alive." And then it goes,
Yeah.
the flashback scenes are funny because it's just like
Yeah.
totally alive, and he plugs him a couple times. Like I did like the flashback scenes.
Well, that's
But there
the
was
thing
too
about
many
the
of 'em.
friends. They were
Maybe
all
the good man.
they were all like against Mark Wahlberg's character.
Not in the end, the one dude who's out of town
Sabato
is
Jr. guy?
Yeah, and then you've got
Yeah.
Straight Jack and Mad Cream. He's on his side. He's the one who calls him and tells him he needs to
know.
get the fuck out of town.
I know, but when it comes to Lou Diamond Phillips being he was like the ringleader.
He flips it. Yeah,
Because
he flips it on everybody. He's ready to
because
kill them
they're
all.
all sitting there fucking letting him do all the killing. They're sitting there looking like they're
They're sitting there watching. Just
They're
shooting.
fucking just whatever.
They even did Gump.
Non-Dairy
pretty
creamer?
bogus. Remember Gump when he had
Yeah,
when he was basically he told him what to say. He still told him. and he
Trace
still killed him.
Buster.
Yeah, it was.
He takes a knife to the fucking chest,
Yeah.
like a nasty
Yeah,
blade
that poor
too.
kid.
I really dig this fight scene in the video store. I think the
Yeah.
car chase scene is cool until it gets goofy.
Yeah.
Like
When the
it's
car
cool.
repairs itself.
Yeah, it's cool when he's firing out the windshield with his
They had a lot of
M16,
goofs.
but then he spins around and it becomes like one of those like old like Jackie Chan style movies where there's 6 guys hanging out of the van and it's just really fucking goofy.
The
They had
same
a
guy
lot
who
of
did
mix-ups in that too. Even the girl who was like tied up in the trunk, like when she was trying to crawl out. Like
Yeah.
those times you see her, she's like tied up, and then
He hits
there's
it. He
perfect
hits her in the
angles where
head
she's
with the
not.
trunk. It's like it felt like an episode of Friends.
Yeah,
When you dealt with the relationship, like a rated R episode of Friends, which honestly annoyed the shit out of me.
the same crew they used for Commando was the one that was in charge of doing the action scenes for the car.
Basically, yeah. We
The
got another
repaired
one.
car.
It's an old piece of shit.
I like the movie.
Yeah, with that said, the movie's good. The action's good. It's
I
just,
like
you
the
got-
movie too, though.
You got to get
Don't get me
over,
wrong.
the cheesy writing, and of course, it's early Mark Wahlberg. I think Lou Diamond Phillips is kind of the standout in this movie, frankly.
He did a
Yeah.
hell of a job.
I gotta
man.
say though, when Lou Diamond Phillips pops up at the end of the video star, and Mark Wahlberg's just like, "Come on, motherfucker, let's go to work." That's a badass scene, and they just start wrecking that whole. And then they see the poster with the #1 adult video rental guy. His whole obsession with masturbating, how he's like doing the hand grips. He's like, "You ready,
The
baby?
grips.
You ready for
Oh,
round 2,
God.
baby?" And it's just like, "Oh, don't kiss him after you do that.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?" I really dig the movie, but this is kind of like an area that we always get hit in, and I need to separate the nostalgia from what the movie actually needs to be rated. Like, sure, my Fifth Element score has a little bit of nostalgia in it, but the movie, I think, deserves a 5. This movie, I unfortunately, as a movie, even though I enjoy it, but I need to understand that most of it is nostalgia enjoyment, I have to give it, I want to say a 3, but it's kind of like, it might be a 2.5. It probably truly deserves.
It's exactly what I'm going towards, 2.5. I want to say 3 again, also because of the past, and how I enjoyed it when
Because
growing up.
I still like the
Yeah.
movie, like, personally, but I can understand somebody else watching it going, "What the fuck?"
When I first saw the movie, I didn't really like it, but I enjoyed what I was watching, so
Mm.
it wasn't like a horrible thing to me. But I still don't see it as being like. I think one of the things was the whole scene where he was rolling down the railing and shooting the guns and shit.
Yeah, and the breakdancing and all
Everybody that I knew back then, I was 20 or 21 years old. They were like, "Oh, dude, that was the fucking best shit." Mark Wahlberg, let's
I
try
mean,
it. And
at
everybody
the time, it
trying
was pretty
to
cool.
do that stuff,
I'm
and I'm like,
saying
"You're
for
stupid."
for its
It's a fucking
time, though,
movie.
everyone,
But the one thing that also got to me when I watched it this time was the song that played the whole time the car chase was in that, and it kept just like, it would stop and then come right back, and it's like, dude, play a different stock fucking song. Like, you don't have more than fucking one song to throw behind any of this action. Like, I'm a piss ant, small time independent, make movies on my fucking gaming PC. I don't use the same song like that. Like, why am I having to listen to the same song?
John Woo produced the film, right?
I saw that. Yeah, that's why there's all that cheesy fucking spinning and
shooting
shit.
and spinning and
Yeah.
stuff. But come on, he should have thought like,
He probably had a lot of influence on what
He didn't
what
watch
they
it,
could
dude.
shoot.
He's it's a bigger
Yeah,
hit.
he's
Okay.
like, we got an idea. He's like, "Are you guys gonna shoot in it?" And like, "Yeah." Like, "All right, here you go."
Do you have any dubs?
Here's
to
a
spare?
couple of ideas. You run with it. Like he just tells him something.
Yeah, but it's a comedy, man. It's a comedy 100% to me. There's nothing else other than comedy for it. Because at one point, like when you were saying how he's spinning on the rail, and then Diamond's making are they drinking espresso in like the hallway while they're
Yeah,
shooting? He's,
yeah,
like, making
non-dairy
coffee and
creamer?
stuff like that.
Well,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
also like the shootout in his house. That whole
Yeah.
scene where he's got that double sawed off under the glass
And
table.
Yeah.
the would be father-in-law is fucking throwing up because he's drunk.
He's
like-
from American History X, right? The father.
The father.
Oh gosh, is he?
Father? I think so.
I don't know. You know what? I gotta be straight
I
up.
don't remember
American History X is not one of my favorite movies. I've seen it several times, but it's not one of those ones that I really like. It's like The Passion of the Christ. Like, I like that movie because of the way it's directed, but I don't watch it very often.
Edward Norton's also not a big fan of it because the image he portrayed when he was like jacked and all crazy. He's like, I didn't want to give that image, and it's kind of stuck with me.
He does look pretty
the jack.
badass in that movie, though. I mean, he's
He
like
does.
miniature Stone Cold Steve Austin in an American History X.
He does look pretty bad.
That's the bottom line. What?
Isn't that where curb stomping came fucking like?
Oh,
became a
very
big thing?
popular after that movie. Yeah, Bite the Curb.
That was because of Gears of War.
Gears of War.
Well, no,
was
no,
after.
No, I know.
Gears of War didn't come around for another decade, son.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, this is a 2.5, or I'm gonna give it a 3. I'll go a little easy on it. I do say check it out. Just understand that when you watch it, you are watching a very mid to low budget late 90s cheesy action comedy starring a young Mark Wahlberg, Lou Diamond Phillips. Because even the scenes that try to be serious, like when they kill Gump, it goes right back to silliness like the next moment.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's more of a comedy. But again, I want to say 2.5, but because I've watched it when I was younger and I still have that like attachment, I'm probably gonna do the same exact as you, just shoot a 3 for it.
I'm giving it some credit it
2.5.
probably doesn't deserve, frankly.
Yeah, no.
It's a 2.5
agree.
for me because even before it would have been a 2, but since I watched it again with my adult eyes, it's like okay, I get it.
Yeah, every
So it's
time
a
I watch it, I
2.5.
still enjoy it, but there's more and more things I'm like, okay.
This is what
I
works.
think-
It's on TV. I might just.
I think
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
one of
the
the
future.
I think one of the things for me was Mark Wahlberg's character falling in love with a college student too. Like they don't say like how old she really is. She's supposed to. She looks like she's fucking.
Was she college or was she private?
No,
private
she
high
was
school?
college.
Nah,
Because
I think it
the
was like high
father
school, man.
says no. The father says I have to pick my daughter up from college.
Okay.
I actually
Okay.
went back and watched it again, and just to hear that part
I mean,
because I was
yeah,
kind
but
of like
why don't you see that as like realistic? He's only like 25 in this movie.
he looks older to me.
No,
in-
I
in
think he's
this-
supposed to
like,
be older in the movie.
He's like
He
30
can't-
something.
He
or
can't be
something.
that old in this movie. How old is he in this movie? Because this was made in '97, and he's in his early 50s, I think now.
He's in his simple Jack stage.
I'm gonna look it
I
up
don't know.
because I'm
That's a good
curious.
question. Yeah.
How old was he when he made the movie? All right. The guy you're talking about that played the father, he was in Ocean's 11s and shit. He was in those Ocean 11, 12.
Ah, okay. Was
He
he?
was-
in,
he's good in those movies,
American
too.
History X though,
Yeah.
because he
I don't know,
keeps
to be
popping
honest
up in
with
my
you.
head.
When was American History X made?
I don't remember, man. I just for some reason his face keeps popping up in my head from that movie,
He might have been the.
like the dinner table. No,
So,
like the dinner table.
so he was born in '71. So he was like 25, 26 when the movie was filmed. That's what I'm saying. Like, college girl is 19, 18. He's 25. It's not that unbelievable.
Yeah.
He just makes
Yeah, he
good
was
money
in American
murdering
History
people.
X.
What'd you say? He is in American History X?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was. It was the guy.
Does he play the?
He's the guy
re-
who's trying to date his mom, and he gets mad,
Oh, okay.
and he like that's when he rips off his shirt at the dinner table.
Yeah, this says not fucking welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know, a
scene.
movie I want to stay away from. I heard bad. I know I don't know if we're done or we're just.
We're still live. You want to end it up and
Yeah,
then
okay.
just chill? Or you wanna-
Yeah, sure, we could do that. But we could just let him know. Barbie.
I don't want to see that movie.
No, but it's you didn't hear all the like.
I'm
all the
here.
buzz about
I don't like the trigger words that people use nowadays, but to quote things I've read, I hear it's just a woke overload of bullshit.
So yeah, it's about the whole like the concept of you don't need Ken. Like get rid of Ken. You could be an independent girl. Like you don't.
So
have
you
to
heard
have
it here first, kids.
babies
Go
and
see
stuff. It's
Sound
like
of Freedom instead of Barbie.
Sound of Freedom all the way. I haven't seen it, but
If I had to go see one movie, it probably would be Dead Reckoning. To be honest with you, I'd go see
Which
the new
one's Dead
Mission,
Reckoning?
the new Mission Impossible.
Oh, okay.
That movie,
Part
that movie
one?
looks
Part
fucking
one?
awesome. Yeah,
Tom
I guess
Cruise,
that-
I love
I guess
Tom
the initial cut was like 4 hours long, and people who've seen it in the theaters love it so much they petitioning for like better have the
There's
unrated
two
cut.
parts.
Well, no, but I guess part one's initial cut was like 4 hours long.
Oh wow, I believe it. Jumping off
Wow.
of
I
planes.
mean,
and
he's
shit.
doing all sorts of like. I saw a clip of him where he's like, "I love movies and popcorn," and he's just eating popcorn. It's like, spit that out. You know you're gonna vomit blood. Like, you're a fucking
Yeah, yeah.
vampire. You're not human. Just like Mark Zuckerberg, he's
I like
robot.
those.
He's cybernetic organism.
Zuckerberg's a weirdo. Let me get me started. With
I want to see him and Elon Musk fight.
I hope UFC does put that fight on. for
Elon
real.
But
Musk
I
would
wouldn't-
get his ass beat. Just
I'm not gonna-
because
I'm not
gonna
he's
pay
gonna
for
be
it.
I want it
heavy into
bootlegged.
No,
competing.
yeah, it's gonna be a celebrity fight, so you're gonna see a lot of stupid shit.
I mean, here's the thing. It depends on what the fight is. It's if it's a boxing fight, then Zuckerberg's jiu-jitsu shit means nothing.
True.
If it's an on-the-ground fight, then Elon's got no chance because Zuckerberg actually trains.
Yeah, but he's conditioned too.
Yeah, he's
Like, I don't think-
he's in decent shape too. Elon Musk is in billionaire shape. He's shaped
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
fucking like his stomach grows weird. Like remember Schwarzenegger when he was the governor and had
Exactly,
back
yeah.
surgery and his body just became weird and bloated in the center?
Right before he got drop kicked in the gym.
Dude, for a 70-year-old
not
dude, he
move.
took that motherfucker. He's, what happened? Like he was fine. What the fuck?
Mosquitoes,
Are you kidding me?
flies.
This weak bullshit.
He's like, who broke their leg on my back?
Yeah, I heard the crack. Wasn't me. There you go. All right, we all good to wrap this up, gents? All right, everybody.
Sir.
See you next time. I'm going to try to get us... I don't know what's going on with the other guys. Giovanni told us he'd be in 4 episodes this month, and he's going to weird church raves. So I got to see what's going on with Giovanni and Lewis, and if not, we'll talk to Rusty and see if we do another threesome of us next week and figure out movies and go from there. So we will see you
Sounds
guys hopefully next week, and then we'll figure out everything. We'll let you know on Discord what we're going to be reviewing. Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Love you.